Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. And as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I'm going to do another today's observation. And for those first time watching this, every week or so I post a video about my observations for the day, for the week. What do you guys think? Because a lot of these, if not most of these, are very unusual. And it makes no sense sometimes. So here is today's edition, which is actually technically it's Monday, August 22nd, I believe. And it's only 2 this time. So I was on the Mercurial site, and there's some sites, I don't normally anymore patronize because I'm like, it's just too much BS happening on these sites and people on BS and not following through. But every now and then you run across a deal or you think you do this, I can't pass this up. I was in the process on eBay of purchasing a Sonic Blue guitar, and I spent like a week looking for this guitar, this particular Strat style, maple neck. Is it maple neck? Yeah, maple neck, rosewood neck. Damn, maple neck. Sonic Blue to kind of match my modified bass, jazz bass, same color. So the auction was going to end on Monday, and I was watching it. And something told me to do this. And moving forward, when I see something that I want, auction-wise, put a bid on it. Normally you wait till the last minute if you can to get the best deal and bid. But sometimes you got to put a bid on it to lock it in. Because if you don't lock it in and nobody has bidded on it yet, the seller can remove it. Because they can't remove it once the auction somebody has placed a bid. So I said, I'll wait. I shouldn't have waited because that same day, 2 hours later, somebody bought it. Because I looked up and was like, this item ain't no longer available. So I emailed the guy, I said, what happened to the blue guitar? I was going to buy it. He said that somebody else outside the auction bought it. And he can do that without having any issues because nobody had placed a bid on it. So therefore, he can remove it. He can cancel the order. You can't cancel the order after someone bid it. You don't supposed to. It's against the policy. So the lesson I learned from that was put a bid on it. Because as soon as, actually I had already done that for the other guitar, acoustic guitar, because I'm looking at it and I can tell that the action's good. So I did put a bid on it, and I should have put a bid on the blue guitar, but I didn't, and it got away from me. So I'm on Mercurial, and I seen a 335 copy. And the reason why that one caught my eye because I'm looking at the pictures and I can tell the action's pretty good. So I said, let me go ahead and buy this one. So I bought it. And the policy is because Mercurial really get on the people to ship the stuff out quicker. And I think because this reason, because like with eBay, when you first sign on to buy or sell, whichever or both, you are put on a probation period. I think it's like 3 months. So that means if I just sign up on eBay and I'm selling the guitar, someone buys it, I ship the guitar, and I don't get my money until they receive the guitar, because you got to put tracking on it. And they do that just to make sure you're not a shady character for 3 months. But with Mercurial, I think that's just it, period. That's why it comes so quick because you could be signed on as a member for 3 years, unless they sometime in the future change it, 3 years, and you still got to wait to get your money until the buyer receives the item. So I bought the 335 copy, and Mercurial kind of get on them within 2 days. I'm gonna send an email to them saying you paid for it and they got to ship it. So I got an email from the seller, and he said I was going to go to UPS on Saturday, and UPS, I think it might have been Friday, and ship it out. So Friday came, they didn't ship, and they said I got to get a box for it, but it'll go out today, which I think it was Saturday. And then that correspondence, they asked me something that was weird. So do you still want the guitar? Yeah, I paid for it. I mean, why would I not want something I paid for? There was nothing in our transaction or communication that I'm iffy about this. And if I'm iffy, I've already committed to buying it, So I ran that past my wife. She said, that don't make any sense neither. Something ain't right there. I'm like, yeah, something ain't right there. So that day they said they were going to ship it. So I'm like, the next day on, I signed on. I get my tracking information from UPS. I opened up the email or the Yahoo because I really use my Yahoo, and they said the seller has canceled the order. The fuck? And the reason was I couldn't find the box. Now I'm saying to myself, you've already committed to selling this item, and you overlook that detail that you don't have a box. You know, most of us, when we selling some like guitars, we already got a box. And if we don't, we go find the box and then we place the advertisement or the auction listing. That make no sense. It's like, I'm like, some people improvise. There's been a couple of times I had to build a box. I'm like, I don't have one, so I'm gonna have to build a box. So that was just some BS. I don't know what was behind the BS, but it was some BS because I'm like, we committed to this transaction. You got my money. You told me you was going to ship it. Now you can't find the box. Instead of, again, before I sell this, let me make sure I got a box to ship it because I'm going to be shipping it. So you run across some nonsense like that, every now and then, that it doesn't make any sense. And the way the Mercuri is set up, and they did this deliberately because they don't think a lot of people are paying attention. You go on there and they claim that most of their sellers, if not almost all of them, got 100% positive feedback. You know why? Because this is how it works. If you buy something and you don't like it, and then you click this box that says, I've received the item, now you're not able to leave no feedback. And the reason why is they want it to look like all their transactions from sellers are 100%. Because how I found out was I had bought some from Mercuri because they got a real bad track record with me. I would say 2 items out of 10 I kept and the rest were garbage. So the guy sent me some, didn't work as a computer. So I left him feedback because I didn't click that box. I didn't accept it. And I just right out the gate gave them my feedback, which is negative. And the buyer was so confused or so surprised. Why didn't you contact me? Why do I need to contact you? You sent me some shit that ain't working. And this is what you're going to get. Unless you just going to refund my money, we cool without any feedback. But still, you sent me something that was not working. So that's how Mercuri put up this front that all of, if not most of, their sellers are legitimate. You don't have any problems. Because I definitely, on eBay, if that would have happened with the cancellation, I still been able to leave feedback to say, seller at the last moment weaseled out a deal and canceled the order and gave me some lame excuse. But they set it up where you cannot leave feedback. And they do that deliberately, again, to make it look like all they sellers are 100% or close to 100%. But it was just a situation where I just, again, every blue moon, there's exceptions. I'm like, what? I do need a 335 copy because I don't have one of those in my collections anymore. I want to have my jazz box, my Strat. I got a Les Paul coming, all well-rounded, different styles of guitars with different tones. So that was some BS because I'm like, you were selling it. You didn't have the box ready to be put in the box to get rid of it. So I'm like, okay, this is some BS. And my second observation, and then I'm going to close off with this, and you guys probably start to notice this too. I try to pay attention to a lot of stuff. I'm like, why are they doing this? Or why did they say this? Because when that lady asked me if I wanted, do I still want the guitar? I'm like, something's up now. Because why would you ask me that? I've already paid for the guitar, so why would you ask me that? So this is kind of new, and I see a lot of this now. First time I seen it was at the dollar store. I went in and purchased some items. I think I spent maybe $20, $25. Would you like your receipt? Yeah. Why would I not want my receipt? And why would you want to keep my receipt? And the reason being is it's going to make it harder for you to bring something back and get a refund exchange without your receipt. That's what that's about. Because I went to a place not too far away, a restaurant. And I called, placed a takeout order, pickup order. And the lady behind the counter asked me the same thing. You want your receipt? Why would I not want my receipt? You know, because I went to Menards, me and my wife, to buy these shades. So we went and spent like $200 on these shades. And when I got home and took one of them out the box to compare it to the one that's hanging, it's the same size. So we got the same, meat size, But the problem was the one that's hanging already, which was put up by my handyman, the handyman that I had the fire. And maybe I'll share that story at the end of this. The little thing, if it's the right size as far as the top part, you can just pop it out, pop the other one in, instead of re-drilling holes and resetting it with the new, the new locks or the new bearings or whatever with the new shades. And the new ones were real big. I'm like, I would have to take this down and re-drill it I'm like, I ain't going through all that. So we end up taking it back. And before we took it back, my wife was sleeping. I was up. And I said, let me gather up this stuff. Because I only opened up one box. And I put everything back in there. I said, let me go find a receipt. And sometimes I leave the receipt in the bag and I put the bag in the laundry room. So I went to all them bags and I found two other receipts. I'm like, uh-oh. So I had to go into my yard and get 3 days worth of garbage, which is like, because I take the garbage out like every other day. So it was like for the week, I'm like, oh shoot, I got to go through all three of these bags with gloves on to try to find that receipt. So I went through every bag. It was like one of those CSI episodes where the investigators are sifting through garbage and, to find stuff. So I had to do that for each bag. All three of them went through and I found nothing. I said, I hope my wife still got that receipt. And she had it, because she put it on her charge card. I'm like, thank goodness. But that's kind of a new trend now. Do you want your receipt? Yeah, I want my receipt. I'll dispose of my receipt. It makes no sense other than we want to keep this. So it's going to be an extra added burden for you to come back here with a real receipt because you left it with us to try to exchange or get a refund. I'm like, that's kind of funky. That's kind of like when CVS, can I have your number? Nope, because you got my cash. We're done. We're done. Here's my cash. You give me the merchandise. I walk out, and this transaction don't have to be revisited or anything. And the reason why they do that is to sell that information. I asked the lady at CVS one day, I'm like, what do you guys do with these phone numbers? Do you sell them, as far as email and phone numbers, address, mailing list? And she said, yeah. And I know that. I'm like, because why would you need this? You don't need my number for us to complete this transaction. Only thing you need is my cash or maybe even my debit card. But you just got to be careful. You got to question things. Why do they want this? Why do they want to keep this? Why they want you to give them this? There's a reason behind it. It's just no apparent reason they want this from you. There's a reason why, and you need to understand and know why. Same thing again with the receipt thing. Why do you want to keep my receipt? Why do you want to add extra clutter to your situation? Because they have a copy of the receipt for themselves when they finish transactions. So you got a receipt. You got your own receipt copy. So why do you need mine? Why do you need mine? You got one for your records. So give me mine for my records. Be careful out there. You got to question some things when it doesn't make sense to you. Till next time, take care. Thanks for watching.